All right, folks. So here we are. Collective reading for the week of May 13th until the what day is it? It's 18th. I'm going to pull a couple cards, see what's up for this week, and provide any messages that I get, messages from the cards, and yeah, hopefully it resonates. If you have any questions, comments, shoot them in the comment section. I'll answer them as I go. And yeah, here we go. What messages do we have collective for this week? What messages do we have for the collective this week? I think I probably should have grabbed my headphones, but it's all right. Here we are. Messages do we have for the collective this week? The first card is the Firefly. I actually pulled this card earlier for myself doing a hard feelings reading. So I'll talk about that in a second. Inspired and fantastic yet fleeting. The Firefly contains the light of 1,000 stars. It's pure, radiant, and illuminating. Therefore, the Firefly card indicates a moment of inspiration or awakening that quickly fades if we do not catch it. There is Firefly energy behind every poem, song, and invention. Our job is to be ready to harness this creative spirit when it graces our path. What can you do to support this precious and elusive light? When in balance, writes, creates, brainstorms. When out of balance, burnout, feels dull. To bring into balance, write a poem, draw. So the month of May is the month of reflection. And this week in particular, we're looking at the concept of time. And so if we're thinking about this shelter in place or lockdown, depending on where you are, there is this sense of either no idea of time and hours just seem to go by, or days you don't know what day it is. And there's also this level of ethereal time and timelines, whether in this body or our different lifetimes, playing with the concept of time and harnessing time and how do we best utilize our time. And some level, time doesn't exist in regards to like physical manifestation of it, of hours, days, sun comes up, sun goes down. If you've ever played with the concept of time of like you have 15 minutes to get somewhere and you know it's going to take you 20 minutes and you're just like, you know what, I'm going to get there on time. And you just happen to hit all the right lights, you happen to be going somewhat under the speed limit or whatever it might be. If you believe it enough, minutes don't really make sense on some level. So playing around with the concept of time and with this energy of the Firefly, knowing that time is constant and how can you sustain this inspiring energy to last a longer stretch of time, and how can you harness this energy. And I don't want to put it in a sense of like restricted harness, but like how can you kind of vibrate in that space more and just be in that space or that state versus it being an influx and then a dull and then influx and then a null. So being able to tap into our creativity is important for that. And if you're feeling stuck or if you're feeling halted, and if you've been working like hours straight or looking at your computer for so many hours, it might be time to take a walk or take some time to draw or paint or some sort of creation medium. And if your work is in creating, then taking a step back and playing. There's a lot of creation that comes from play. And so whether it's playing a video game or playing a board game, playing a round of solitaire, or going out and dribbling a basketball or dribbling a soccer ball, how can you step away from what is routine and structured to break up the flow of it, or to break up the stagnation of it, not the flow. You don't want to break up the flow. How can you break up the stagnation to create more flow and to create this kind of vibrancy? Is to create, to play, to be in a joyous state, or to do something that creates happiness or brings happiness out of you. So this can also mean that if you're struggling with energy or with feelings and you're not sure where they're coming from, journaling, writing it out, and looking at it from a space of letting the pen just kind of go and letting the words just kind of come to the paper. So if you're feeling stuck and stagnant, allow the creative energy to flow through you through writing or through drawing or doodling, and see if that creates a shift in your brain to move that stagnant energy. I'm going to pull a couple more cards. Buffalo. Another card I pulled earlier today for myself. Where are you, Buffalo? Grounded yet heavy, practical yet spiritual. The hooves of the mighty buffalo are grounded in the earth, yet its heart and mind rise toward heaven. The buffalo sees challenge, hardship, or a bump in the road as an opportunity for upliftment. Therefore, the buffalo does not fear death, illness, or misfortune. Its gentle eyes look to the road ahead, trusting every turn. May we all experience this elusive yet life-changing bliss from time to time. And may we allow this card to remind us that life is a precious gift. When in balance, trusting pure presence. When out of balance, restless, lacks gratitude. To bring into balance, prayer, bhakti. This concept of gratitude has been coming up a lot lately. I think not only for myself, but maybe for a lot of people in the collective. And so if you're feeling restless or stuck, or you're coming across a lot of roadblocks, or what feels like the universe testing you, or what feels like just hardships or difficult feelings, it might be time to bust out that paper and pen or even your phone and just write out things that you're grateful for. And not just write them out in a sense of like, I am grateful for this, I am grateful for this, but really being with what you're grateful for and saying why you're grateful for it. Because then that creates a sense of that gratitude in the body, and it brings those emotions and the story around that gratitude into your being. And so it allows you to feel it and really experience that gratitude. So for me, like in this moment, recognizing I'm super grateful to have this space of mine, like my room in particular. It's a safe space that I can go to, that I can create ritual around, that I can use as a sacred space, and allows me to do some heavy work and a lot of internal reflection and things that, there's this idea of that you can't heal where you were hurt. And I have felt very, I wouldn't say strongly, but I have felt a lot that I'm going to prove that wrong. And maybe in my spiritual being or in my mental state, I am not in the same space. but physically I am in still the same space where um, I have some things that I'm working through with my mom and our past and our lineage, and those can blow up in my face a lot. And so my room is a space where I can come to and get quiet and figure things out. And I'm super grateful for this space and super grateful for tarot and allowing these messages to help again with that creative space of creating new words or new ways to see things and new ways to make sense of what I'm feeling inside by seeing it in front of me. I've always felt that I have been a visual person. I remember in basketball practice, my coach would tell me a play and not write it out or just expect us to know it after saying it. I was like, bro, can we walk through it? Because I need to be able to see it in order for me to be able to do it. And that's a story that I've created and continue to create. But I think it helps me to resonate with the gratitude as well, like writing it down and seeing what I'm grateful for and feeling it in my body helps to cultivate more of that and bring more of that in our lives. So um, yeah, gratitude and focusing back on what we're passionate about. And a lot of times gratitude can bring that up of, what we get excited about. Um, and so in continuing to play in this space of energy and physicality, Buffalo says grounded yet heavenly, practical yet spiritual, and knowing that there is a fine line between the two of feeling things in your body and you can't see your feelings per se, like on a non body. I don't know how to say this, but like you can see emotions on someone. You can see when someone's upset or sad. You can read their body and their body language and on some level their energy. But the feeling itself as a tangible thing you can't see. Well, most of us can't see. And so how do we know it's real if we can't see it? Well, it's that feeling. If we feel it in our body, it's the same thing with air. Like you can't see air, you know it's there. You can't see oxygen, but you know it's there. And so it's feeling the breath going through your nostrils and feeling the air fill up your lungs. So again, balancing that bridge of practicality and spirituality, of the unknown and the known, and taking what's in the unknown and bringing it to the known of, I have hope that things will get better and I want it to look like this. How will I feel when that happens? I can feel that now. And having that feeling energy and having that hope and that idea of what I want it to look like, I can then work from there of action items to create that reality and to be in that feeling currently of what I want in the future. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to shuffle the cards one more time and we'll pull one more card. Last card is the Eagle. All-pervading power, truth seeker, transforms karma. The noble eagle emanates the light of the sun. This great bird is both physically and spiritually strong and represents mastery over the elements of fire and air. When the eagle appears, you'll soon be thrown into karmic fire for the sake of your transformation. The eagle pushes us to be our best and brightest selves and stops at nothing to see us shine. Grasp the sun in your talons and hold on for the ride. You are stronger than you think, eagle child. When in balance, bright, radiant challenges. When out of balance, controlling. To bring into balance, to step into the unknown. Just like I said, the unknown. there's a lot of planets going retrograde this week. There are already 3 that I believe are in retrograde, and there's another one retrograding tomorrow. So Venus retrogrades today, which is relationships and love. Saturn retrograde on Monday, which is about structures. And I believe if I go on my cheat sheet planner, tomorrow's retrograde is in Jupiter. What is Jupiter? I don't remember Jupiter off the top of my head. I know that Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and I'm a Sag, so I'm very aware of that. And I'm going to probably read more on that tomorrow. But what happens during retrogrades is it's a reviewing, reflecting. Again, this month is a reflection, and it's looking at our past and looking at the patterns that we've had in relationships, who we've been in relationships, who we've been in relationship with, the patterns in those relationships that come up for us, and that's particular for Venus. In Saturn, looking at our structures, what is working and what isn't working, and not just for ourselves, but for the collective. Because those planets don't just rule one person, they rule everything. So looking at the way we've been in structure, the structures in our lives, and how it's affecting us and everyone else around us, and how can we revamp or restructure those things in our lives. So again, that review, reflection, reexamine these things and start to create change in the areas that we know don't serve us anymore. So yeah, we'll definitely look up the different retrogrades that are happening this week and the planets that they're happening in and the houses that they're happening in. I believe that Venus is retrograde in the 6th house, which has to do with career and money. I'm going to stop because I'm not an astrologer. So look it up. It would do well for you to look it up, and you'll learn a lot about it and a lot of the energy to work with this week from it. So yeah, things are going to surface that we have been putting to the side or that we haven't been listening to our intuition on, to allow us to face it and to work through it. So remembering that everything is connected and that everything is here to serve us in our highest good and the highest good of all. So something that I've been learning is this isn't happening to me, this is happening for me. And those moments that you can easily get lost in the feelings or in the old stories, take a step back. Once you feel that switch or that trigger, take a step back and see if you can take a breath and look at something from a bigger perspective of what is this here to teach me. And if you can't, take a walk, go outside, cool down, and then start to ask those questions of what is this? Why is this here to serve me? Why is this in my life right now? What is this showing me to transform, to change the story around? Because at the end of the day, those things are in our control. The story that we have around something, the healing that we do, the way we react to things, if it feels out of our control, let it be out of control and take a step back after and be like, what just happened? Why did that happen? And then start doing the digging work. Definitely happened to me on Monday. So communicate, ready to maybe apologize or be aware of the way you communicate with people and the way people are feeling, because there's a lot happening this week energetically. And so being aware of that and control what we know we can control and letting go and just holding space for the rest, and trust that there are things that are meant to be brought to the surface to teach us something. And at the end of the day, lean on each other and the support around you and your community, or reach out to me and we can work through things and talk through things. There's a collective energy for a reason. There's a reason why we're all feeling similar things. It's because we're all going through similar things. And one of my favorite quotes is, we're all fighting a battle somebody knows nothing about. And so when you meet someone and maybe they're mean to you, that's got nothing to do with you personally, but it does allow for an opportunity of growth of, instead of being, well, fuck that guy or whatever, excuse my language, but changing it to, I hope that person finds the healing that they need, or I hope that this person discovers the love within themselves that they're holding themselves back from. So yeah, being able to change the story and control in that sense, and not control another person, or not uh, control things that we don't have control over. So knowing the difference between the two, and when to let go and let grace. So hopefully that resonates with y'all. We're 21 minutes in. Don't want to go much further. So if you have any questions, shoot me a message. If this resonated, like the video, subscribe, comment. Helps viewers, helps show me some love, and helps let me know what you liked or didn't like about this, and maybe something that you would like to know more about. There's lots of different readings that we can do. I pulled 3 cards, so sometimes this can be, for some people, a past, present, and future feel. So if that resonates with you, like maybe the firefly is a past feeling for you, and the buffalo is a current feeling, and the eagle could be your future, that could be a thing. So maybe knowing that, rewatch and see what resonates there and how it affects your life. So much love, many blessings.